Let's see how to install Kali Linux on VMware. The first thing we need to do is to open the web browser, then go to kali.org. Okay, just like this, kali.org. Here I'm going to click on Download. Then I'm going to choose this option, Installer Images. Then we need to scroll down a bit, and if you are using Apple Silicon, you need to choose this option. I am on Windows, so I'm going to choose this option, x86-64. Then we need to click on this Installer Big button, so I'll click on it, and now the Kali Linux ISO file is being downloaded. It's quite a big file, so it will take a while to download. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so the Kali Linux ISO file was downloaded, and we should now have it in our Downloads folder. So let's open the Downloads folder, and here we can see it on the right, Downloads, and here is my kalilinux.iso file. This is the one that we're going to use. Let's now open VMware Workstation. So this is VMware Workstation, and here I'm going to click on Tabs and go to Home tab. From here we can create a new virtual machine, and I'm going to go with Typical, so next. Here we need to choose this option, Installer Disk Image. Then we need to click on Browse. We now need to navigate to the Downloads folder, because this is the folder that contains our Kali Linux ISO file. And from my Downloads folder, I should be able to choose the Kali Linux installer.iso file. So let's choose this file and open. And we can see the full path to the file written here. Then we can click on Next. The guest operating system needs to be Linux, and for the version, I'm going to choose Debian, and specifically Debian 13.x. Then we can click on Next. We need to give a name to the new virtual machine. I'm just going to call it Kali. Then you can change the location for your virtual machine, and to do that you can click on Browse and choose your preferred location. I'm going to go with this location. Once you're done with that, click on Next. We then need to choose how much disk space we want to allocate to Kali Linux. I'm going to go with the default, which is 20 gigabytes. For a simple lab virtual machine, it should be more than enough, so we can click on Next. Now I'm going to click on Customize Hardware, and I want to increase the amount of RAM memory that is allocated to this virtual machine. So I'm going to increase it to about 5 gigabytes. Then we can move on to the Processors tab, and from here you can increase the number of processors that will be allocated to the Kali virtual machine. I'm going to go with the default, which is 2 processors. This is fine for me, so let's click on Close. And we are done here, so let's click on Finish, and we can see that the new Kali virtual machine was created. I now want to edit virtual machine settings, and I'm now going to go to the Options tab, and here I'm going to choose Advanced. I'm going to uncheck this checkbox, Enable Side Channel Mitigations. Unchecking this checkbox makes it maybe a little bit less secure, but performance will be somewhat better. If you prefer security over performance, maybe you should leave this checkbox checked. As for the firmware type, I'm going to change it from the Legacy BIOS option to UEFI. Then we can click on OK, and we're now ready to start our virtual machine, so let's power on this virtual machine. And the virtual machine is now loading. I need to click inside the virtual machine, then I can choose Graphical Install. We need to select a language. I'll go with English, and we also need a location. And for the keyboard, I'm just going to go with American English. We need to choose a host name. I'm going to go with Kali, so continue. You can provide a domain name. I'm going to leave this one blank, so continue again. We then need to provide a name for a new user. I'll just go with my own name, which is Matan. Then continue. We then need to provide a username for this user, and they can be the same. The only difference is that this one only uses lowercase letters. So once again, I'm going to use my name and continue. We then need to choose a password, so let me choose a password and type it in. Then we need to type in the same password again, and we can click on continue. For the time zone, I'm just going to go with the first option, and it's now detecting the disks. And to keep things simple for this installation, I'm just going to go with the first option, Guided Use Entire Disk. And this will allow the Kali Linux installer to use our entire virtual disk. This is exactly what I want, so I'm simply going to click on Continue. We only have one virtual disk attached to this virtual machine. This is the one that we can see here, and as you can see, this is its size, a little more than 20 gigabytes. This is the virtual disk that I want to use, so continue. You can have a separate home partition, and if you want this, choose this option, Separate Home Partition. But I want to keep things simple, so I'm going to go with the first option, All Files in One Partition. This is the most straightforward way, and it works great. So this is what I'm going to go with, and continue. And we can now see the partitions that will be created on our virtual disk. We can see that we will have the ESP or EFI system partition. We will have our main partition, which is based on the ext4 file system. And also about 1 gigabyte of disk space is allocated for the swap partition. This is a very standard, straightforward way for a partition table. I'm fine with that. So let's finish partitioning and write changes to disk and continue. We need to approve that we want to write the changes to the disk, so yes, and continue. And Kali Linux is now being installed on the virtual machine, based on the speed of your computer. Okay, and it only took a few minutes, and we are now in the software selection screen. So from here, we first need to choose the type of desktop environment we want. As you can see, XFCE is the default for Kali. XFCE is lightweight on one hand and powerful on the other hand. It is the default desktop environment for Kali Linux, so this is definitely the one that I'm going to go with. But if you prefer GNOME or KDE Plasma, you can definitely uncheck this box and choose one of the other ones. But as I said, I'm going to go with XFCE. We can then choose whether or not we want to install some additional tools. So we have here the top 10 most popular tools. We can choose whether or not we want to install them, and also the default recommended tools. I'm just going to go with the default selection, so let's continue. And everything is now being downloaded and installed on our Kali Linux instance. So this is quite a lengthy process. It definitely takes several minutes, but nothing too crazy. Okay, and it's done. All we need to do now is click on continue, and it's finishing the installation. And the virtual machine is now restarting. And now from this menu, I'm simply going to choose Kali Linux. Okay, and it's loading. And Kali Linux is actually loading. I now need to provide the username that I chose and the password. And let's log in. And Kali Linux is now running inside VMware. We can now click here where it says I finished installing. And if you want to switch to full screen mode, you can either click here where it says enter full screen mode, or you can just use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl Alt Enter. Okay, so let's try this one, Ctrl Alt Enter, and we got out of full screen mode. One last thing that I want to mention is how we can easily enable file transfers from our host to the Kali Linux guest. So to do that, we need to open our terminal, and I'm going to start by updating my package list. So sudo apt update, and we need to type in the password. Then we can install the open VMware tools. So to install that, we're going to sudo apt install open -vm and then we can use tab for auto completion, and here it is, open VM tools. So let's go ahead and install this package, and we need to approve, so Y and enter. And I now restart my virtual machine, so we need to click here and restart, and I need to log in again, and now transfers are enabled. So for example, I can go back to my host, and I created here a small text file that I want to copy over to my Kali guest. So I'm going to right click and copy this file. And now I'm going to go back to the Kali Linux virtual machine, and let's open my home folder. And in this folder, I'm going to right click and choose paste. And we can see that the text file was copied.